Hi friends, it's Tuesday, December 7th. We just finished a 4-hour meeting that started at 9 a.m. and we ended at 1 p.m. I'm going to summarize the action items, but essentially there was a lot of discussion, and so I'll go into detail on that a little bit. I asked for a point of personal privilege right at the beginning of the meeting. Before our meeting at 9 o'clock, I ran over to Star Pass. They had a breakfast for our 40 under 40 recipients, and as an alumni of the 40 under 40, I was very proud to support my friends that were there. A specific shout out to Spencer Graves. He is I want to get his title right, Public Health Emergency Preparedness Program Manager with the Pima County Health Department. Daniel Howe, with Workforce Development Specialist with Pima County Community Workforce Development. And then Patrick Robles, our friend from Sunnyside. Just love him. I've known him for so long, but he is the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Pima County Attorney's Office. Also, my friend Sean Gosler received kudos, and Nikki Lee, the vice mayor, and so it was really great, but I wasn't able to stay very long because I had to come up to be sure to be here for the meeting. Right at the beginning, at the top of the meeting, it was the appointment process for the LD10 and LD9 candidates, and so I want to thank all of the nominees for putting their name forward. That process is not an easy process, and I did have the opportunity to interview all of the candidates. Those that were chosen by a majority of the board are Morgan Abraham for Legislative District 10 and Christopher Mathis, Legislative District 9. Congratulations to both of you. I did not vote for either candidate because I really feel strongly that we need to have more representation, more diverse representation at the state level, and I was really advocating for this board to nominate females to the position, specifically to replace all of the vacancies that have been left by different representatives and senators. And so, but I am absolutely willing to work and wish both Morgan and Christopher all the best in their new positions. I asked for an item of the $1 trillion Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Of that $1.2 trillion, 5.4 billion is dedicated to Arizona. And so what I'm going to be asking for, and what we asked for at the meeting, is continued updates on what the status of the funds are, what the status of the projects are, what projects are being highlighted by Pima County in order to qualify for these funds. Because what we really don't want to see is an influx of funds to the state of Arizona, and then Pima County doesn't get its fair share. And so I want to make sure that we have a list of the projects ready to go, and we're ready to start investing in our infrastructure here in Pima County. We had a COVID item, and one of the numbers that I thought was really great is almost 62% are fully vaccinated, totally vaccinated in Pima County of those that are eligible. 99.9% of all 65 and older have at least one dose, and 91% of our 65 and older populations are fully vaccinated. So I hope the rest of us are going to join those that are 65 and older in our community. Our testing demands are incredibly high. We actually dedicated additional funds to testing. We are right now estimating 35,000 tests are being performed on a weekly basis. Those were performed in November, and the rate of positivity is 12%. And just to give you some context to that, during the last week of May, this May 2021, 2% of those tests were positive. And so the positivity rate is increasing. We hear from a lot of people, and we heard it today at the board meeting, that we do have people that are having breakthrough cases. But just so we're clear, of those breakthrough cases, it's less than 2% of those breakthroughs are fully vaccinated people. And so it really continues to be something that we have to strive for. Please, please, please get vaccinated. More than almost 82,000 school-age children have now been vaccinated in Pima County since we were able to do that. So I think that's great. And just to give you an idea of vaccination, of pop-up sites, we have Carrillo K5, 4 to 8 tomorrow, Wednesday. Utterback Middle School, 1 to 5 p.m. And that's also tomorrow, Wednesday. And then Thursday, Safford K8 is going to have one during their winter concert in the evening. And so if you have any questions about where you can go, just Google Pima County vaccines, and it will pop up, and there is an entire list there. We're going to have 15 to 17 pop-ups at our schools over the next 2 weeks. And so in all likelihood, a school near you is going to have a pop-up. I waited about 5 minutes total in order to, I gave my paper, like signed what I needed to, and was able to get vaccinated from the time I started in line to the time the needle was in my arm. It was about 5 minutes. And so the process is really fast. I encourage you to go to any of these pop-ups. The board created a redistricting commission for the Pima County Board of Supervisors, district lines, and also for Pima Community College, because as you know that those lines cross over. The property on Cortero Farms has been withdrawn by the applicant, and there is no estimated return date for that item to come. I know that that was a piece of property that any kind of changes were causing a lot of concern in our community, and the applicant has withdrawn that application for rezoning. I voted against Snell and Wilmer representing Pima County in a case regarding differential rates against the city of Tucson. I'm opposed to the county moving forward with a court case against the city because, as I mentioned in our last meeting, while I'm not happy with the way the differential rates were applied, I do think that it is within the city's rights to be able to impose differential water rates. And so that item passed 3-2. I tried to have the board revise the codes for construction on scenic routes, specifically the lines from TEP where they trek through our desert in order to put up a utility pole and don't do any undergrounding. It's pretty destructive to all of the vegetation and habitat there, and the fines are relatively nominal. It's like $300 for knocking down, the path in order to get to that utility site. And so I do want to thank Supervisor Scott for asking for additional information, and that this item will come back in order for us to have a real discussion about what we can do. I wanted to work with our stakeholder groups, but I really do want to revise the codes. I think that higher fines will perhaps cause a pause in, as much destruction as happens along our scenic routes. We had a discussion about the ethylene oxide sterilization facility, and that Pima County has a very limited role in what is going on there. This is something that is really kind of squarely in the city's hands. This is a highly flammable, highly explosive, potently carcinogenic ethylene oxide is really bad for our environment, and so we really wanted to do everything we can to highlight this for our community, and we had a pretty good discussion about that. We talked about offboarding of our employees that have opted not to get vaccinated, and so to date that's 386 employees that are working with vulnerable populations that have opted not to be vaccinated. Of that 386, 218 are in the Sheriff's Department, and 206 of that 218 are corrections officers, uniformed officers, deputies that are working in our jails. And so if those employees are not vaccinated or don't begin that process by December 31st, they will receive a letter thanking them for their service, but they're no longer employees of Pima County. I was hoping it wouldn't get to this point, but I think that we've done all we can in the county to incentivize vaccines, and so this is unfortunately where we are. And that item passed 4-1. Also passed 4-1 is Pima County's investment in Teatro Carmen to purchase the property and then to dedicate $1 million into restoration and renovation. Okay, so that's a short summary of our board meeting. We'll go ahead and put the link to the board meeting and the agenda below this this video. I want to thank you all for your attention to Pima County politics. Our next meeting of the Board of Supervisors is December 21st. Stay safe, my friends. Thank you.